get started. So happy Friday morning. Welcome to Friday Flow. My name is Ellen. Thanks for coming. So we're going to start in a seated position here. If you have anyone new, welcome. Again, listen to your body as we're going through our workout today and take whatever modifications you need to. I do tend to give a lot of modifications, so be sure to follow along with those if you need them. Also, one thing I wanted to say before I forget, because I always forget, please type in the site that you are from. I know we have some newer people and members that are visiting from different sites, which I love. I love to see you all. Please make sure you type that in the chat box and any feedback, because we're here for you guys. So let us know what you'd like to see, instructions you'd like to do. So we're going to go ahead and get started a little bit differently today. I want you guys to start on your back in what we call a corpse pose or shavasana in yoga. So you're going to get yourself nice and comfy. Come all the way down onto your mat. Feel free to extend your legs straight out. You're going to place those arms down by your side with your palms facing up. So we encourage those shoulders to start to open. And here I'd like you to close your eyes. I'm going to come up just to make sure we're all muted to limit distractions, but go ahead and close your eyes in this pose. And the reason we're starting here today is because I would like you all to sort of just do a check-in with your body, sort of a scan, and without any judgment, but just checking in to see how you're feeling this morning. You know, where, if any, are you feeling tension, tightness, maybe some anxiety, so your whole body's feeling a little tight. So again, just checking in without any judgment. And if you find your mind start to wander, let's go ahead and focus in on our breathing. So while you're here and checking in with your body, place your right hand on your chest and left hand on your belly, and just start to focus on your breathing. Thinking about taking big deep breaths in through your nose, and then exhale out through the mouth. Starting to feel the chest and belly rise with each inhale, and letting it all go on that exhale. So maybe something that has been bothering you all week. Let it go right here this morning on the mat. Big deep breath, filling up the lungs from top to bottom, from side to side. And then exhaling it all out. How is your neck feeling this morning? Your shoulders? You're feeling a little tight from sitting at your desk? How are your hips feeling this morning? How is your lower back feeling? Take one more deep breath, noticing those points of tension, or noticing how good you're feeling this morning. Exhale out. And we can start to open our eyes. Take our hands down by our side. We're going to reach those arms all the way overhead. So you're going to imagine that you're making yourself a little bit longer here. Just want you to walk your feet a little bit closer together. Really extend your arms, and on your inhale, I would like you to squeeze every muscle in your body, including your face, your neck, your jaw. So big inhale, squeeze every muscle. Make fists with your hands, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then exhale, let it go. Notice your body almost lifting off the mat when you do that, and then just sort of relaxing and releasing down when you exhale. So let's try it a couple more times. Inhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale, release. And you can make that an audible exhale here if you'd like. And again, inhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale. Let's try it one more time. Big deep breath in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze the muscles in your face. Hold on to it. And then exhale. Let it all go. And then start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Your head from side to side. Let's start to bend our knees so we place our feet onto the floor. We're going to gently hug those knees into our chest and start to create circles in one direction, massaging our back. So at the very end of class, we're going to come back to the same position and check in with our bodies again. Let's go ahead and reverse the direction of those circles. Sort of massaging those vertebrae and your spine into the mat. As you're doing this, it should feel really good on your back. And then go ahead and release those feet onto the floor. We're going to lift up into a couple of bridges here before we grab our foam roller. So we are going to use a foam roller today, and if you don't have one, you can grab some pillows to create your foam roller. So hands down by your side, feet are about hip distance. Let's take an inhale together. And as we exhale, we're going to press those feet into the floor and slowly lift those hips up. One vertebrae at a time, peeling off the floor. Take an inhale and exhale. Next breath, we're going to slowly lower it down as we inhale. Nice and slow, then exhale. We're going to lift back up. Hold it for one breath, pressing through those feet. And then inhale, slowly come back down. And we're going to do this one more time. Again, being mindful of how your body is feeling this morning. Holding here for a breath and just moving in a way that you can safely, and then slowly come down. So let's keep our feet on the floor. We're just going to drop our legs from side to side, almost like a pair of windshield wipers. Just drop side to side, starting to wake up that lower back. And then we'll drop them over to one side so that we can press ourselves up, nice and slow. So now we're going to grab that foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, you can grab pillows. So I've done that before. One or two or three pillows, just line them up like this because we're going to lay on top of this foam roller. So we're going to take a seat on the foam roller. We're just going to hang out here for a couple minutes. So when you're right at the edge of that foam roller, you're going to gently lower yourself all the way down. A little weird at first if you haven't done this before, or maybe haven't done it in a while. You want to make sure that your head is resting on the foam roller so that everything here is supported. Arms are down, keep your knees bent for now. And let's go ahead and extend those arms up. So right here you might feel a little uneven. Okay, so what I want you to do is go ahead, turn on those core muscles. And imagine you're sort of stitching your rib cage together and tucking your hips under. If you need a little more stability, your feet can be a little wider. So arms up, palms facing one another. We're going to open up our arms to make the letter T to get a little bit more of a stretch for the shoulders. So take a big exhale, open up the arms. And we're just going to repeat this a couple of times. Inhale, arms come up, and exhale. So you may notice a couple of different things. Maybe the back of your hands don't quite touch the floor. Your shoulders are a little extra tight this morning. So the goal is to try to get the back of that hand completely flat on the floor. You might notice this is pretty easy for you. We'll add a couple layers if you'd like to increase the intensity of the stretch. So we're going to do one more in this direction. So arms are out to the side. We're letting them hang out here. You should feel gravity start to push down on your shoulders a little bit here. So take a few breaths, keeping the palms facing up towards the ceiling. I know I already feel that stretch. That's how tight my shoulders are. That's okay, no judgment, just checking in. More so just awareness of how our bodies are feeling this morning and how we can work through some of that together. Okay, so if this is already a big stretch, you can stay right here. If you'd like a little bit more, we're going to take our hands down by our side, like we did earlier. Instead of making the letter T, you're going to imagine the letter Y with your arms. So you're going to reach them all the way overhead, still keeping your arms pretty straight. And now try to get in the back of your hands to touch the floor behind you a lot harder. So working through this, inhale, the arms lower down, and then exhale, they lift up and overhead. So you guys do this for a couple more reps. I'm just gonna come up to make sure everyone is doing okay here. So you can choose, you're making the letter T or you're making the letter Y. And this might be a little uncomfortable, and that is okay. We just don't want it to be painful, right? So if it's a little uncomfortable, kind of want you to hang out there in that spot. Let's do one more. So whatever position you're doing, I want you to hang out there. So arms are out on the letter T or letter Y. You're trying to get those fingertips, back of the hands to touch the floor, and I want you to hold for a couple of breaths here. Feeling those shoulders start to open. That's where we tend to hold a lot of our tightness in our neck, our shoulders, and our chest. So let's hold it for one more breath. You guys look good. Okay, so you can choose to leave your arms there and take them down by your side. I'm just going to show you one more thing on the foam roller, so stay right where you're at. This one is going to be for our hips. So I like to have my arms by my side, just to have a little more stability, and then you can always add the arms back in if you'd like. So feet are about hip distance, and all we do here, just like with our arms, we extend our legs straight out. So now you're feeling a really big stretch in those hips. So imagine you're sitting at the edge of a table and you're allowing your legs to hang off of it. That's sort of what we're doing here. You should feel that similar stretch in those hips. Now sometimes this is a little uncomfortable for my low back. So if you're starting to feel that, just bend your knees and bring your feet back. Now if you want to do both arms and both legs, you can sort of imagine you're making the letter X with your body, or sort of a starfish. The legs are out, arms are overhead. I'll let you decide. And we'll hang out here for about 3 more deep breaths. So we are opening up the front side of the body before we really start and get into this practice here. One more breath. All right, and then slowly take those hands back down towards your sides. If you would lift them overhead, we're going to gently bend our knees. Now sometimes the hardest part is just sliding off our foam roller, so just be careful. Just pick one side to sort of gently slide off of it, or roll off those pillows. And we're just going to move it over to the side. Let's roll over and find a child's pose position. I'm sorry, tabletop. Okay, so tabletop, nice neutral spine. And as we inhale, we're going to lift our chest so that we can get that air into our lungs. Our belly drops. And as we exhale, we pull that chin into our chest. And we'll do it a couple more times. Inhale. And exhale. So cycling through that child's pose, that, I can't talk this morning, cat-cow position. So a couple more times, maybe you do a couple circles here. I know that feels good for me. So keep moving. If you've never done that foam roller stretch, hopefully you're feeling a little bit looser, and hopefully that helps. That is something you can do every day. You are feeling tight. So if you're making circles, just make sure you reverse the direction. I like to do this to warm up my wrists a little bit. Okay, now we're going to find a child's pose. So let's bring those knees nice and wide, toes together, take an inhale, exhale, sitting back into those heels, walking your hands out and lowering your forehead to the mat. So staying here for a few breaths. Now, anytime throughout class you would like a chance to just sort of step back or take a couple breaths or relax, this is a good pose to come to. So especially if you were new this morning to my class, remember to always take those modifications, or if you have a recent injury. And then slowly come on up. Okay, so let's start to get the body warm now. We're gonna tuck our toes under, spread the fingers and take them to the top of the mat. We're gonna take an inhale, lift the knees off the mat, and exhale, find that downward facing dog. And go ahead and pedal out those heels. So holding that down dog, an option here is doing this on your knees and just simply pressing those hips back. Maybe you're taking it to your forearms this morning. So while you're in your down dog, I also want you to think about how this downward facing dog is feeling. Especially if you come to this class every Friday, maybe you do yoga more regularly, or maybe you take Sarah's awesome classes. So just notice how you're feeling in this down dog, and knowing that it doesn't always have to feel good or have to feel the same way. And if it's not feeling that good and if you're feeling tight, we'll be able to work through some of those challenges in our class this morning. We're not always going to feel 100% for our workouts every single day, right? So my calves are really tight this morning for some reason. I'm just going to keep that in mind and do a couple extra stretches here. I want you to press your chest towards your thighs in this down dog. I know we've been here for several breaths. Inhale, let's come to a plank position. So we're gonna stack those wrists right on top, our shoulders right on top of our wrists. Okay, the option is lowering those knees to the floor. Okay, hold here, keep your neck long. Wanna make sure we're not looking down right at our mat, but looking ahead of our mat. Okay, so tuck those hips under. Hold it right here. If you're doing the full version, you're lifting up through your knees and pressing through your heels. One more breath. Exhale, both knees fall, and then we lower our chest to the mat. Our elbows come straight back. Okay? Untuck those toes, you flatten them down. Inhale, we lift up, baby cobra, pushing away from the floor. Exhale, lower, and then inhale, retuck those toes. Up and back to down dog. Inhale, let's bend our knees. Exhale, we're gonna walk those feet all the way up towards our hands. Maybe lifting your hands off the mat before you come. Hanging out here. So we're in a forward fold. I want you to relax your head completely in this position. Take one more breath in that forward fold. And then inhale, reach those arms all the way up, nice and tall. First time this morning, we are standing tall. Bring those hands together. And then exhale, we lower down. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. Do a couple of different sun salutations, get nice and warm, balance challenge, and then come back to the floor. So inhale, let's lift up. Exhale, float it down. So hopefully that foam roller helped. Inhale, let's find a flat back, halfway lift. Remember that you're pulling those shoulder blades together, and we're actually pressing through our heels, pushing those hips back, and feeling that calf stretch and hamstring stretch. And exhale, we come down. Let's step our right leg back, and let's lower our right knee to the floor. We're only gonna be here for a few breaths, but feel free to fold your mat under for a little extra support. Lift your chest up, brace the core like we did on that foam roller to begin. Inhale, arms up, palms come together, exhale, hold. Low crescent lunge, we're stretching out those hip flexors. Just a little extra stretch. But it should feel a little different after being on that foam roller, rather than just going right into the stretch and not having that extra stretch. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Let's go ahead and step back, downward facing dog. And inhale, we come forward to this high plank. And exhale, we lower our knees, we lower our chest. Elbows straight back. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, reach up those toes, down dog. Hold it there. So we're gonna go through that a lot this morning, so feel free to take it out whenever you need to, or maybe you add an extra push-up, maybe a single leg as you lower, whatever you like. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, walk. Maybe you're ready to hop to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, those arms come out to the side. We come up to standing as our palms come together. And we exhale. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go here just so you can see when I open out to the side. And stay right where you're at. Inhale up. Exhale, float it down. Letting all of it go right here. Anything that is bothering you this week, let it go on the mat this morning. Inhale, halfway lift. Big deep breath. Exhale, lower. Step that left foot back. Left knee to the floor. Maybe folding that mat. On top of your toe. Chest lifts. Inhale, arms come up. Palms come together as we exhale. Lower. Hold right here. So although it may seem like we're just doing a lunge, stay where you're at. We're also practicing keeping our shoulders down and chest up. So while you're here, I want you to think of squeezing your shoulder blades together. Keeping that chest up, tucking those hips under. One more breath. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come down. We step right back to that downward facing dog. Now we're getting more. Inhale forward to that high plank. Exhale, knees and chest. And inhale, we lift. And exhale. Again, moving through that at your own pace. Or if you're not sure, you can follow along with me. Inhale, bend those knees. Exhale, walk your jump to the top of your mat. Finding that forward fold. And then inhale, come to standing. Nice and tall here. Exhale, palms come together. Maybe we lean back there. A little extra. And then exhale, bring those hands down. Okay, so now we're going to try some warrior poses. So we're going to start back with that right leg again. So inhale, lift up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Pulling those shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower. So instead of coming to the floor, step your right leg back to a warrior one. A medium step back, gluing your heel into the floor behind you. Chest lifts up, we brace our core. Inhale, those arms lift. And exhale, we hold. So I'm just going to show you from a couple different sides so you can see how this warrior one looks. Okay, so our front knee is bent and our back leg is super straight. Shoulders are down, but we're reaching up through those fingertips. Okay, your hips are facing forward and not rotating out. Let's take one more breath here. And then inhale, we're going to lift, straighten our front leg. Exhale, we're going to open right up to warrior two. So you open up from that hip. Take a bigger step back, readjust. Arms are nice and straight, and we get a little bit lower. So we're looking over that left middle finger. Nice and strong here. Let's create a little movement until we find our lowest point. So inhale, straighten that leg, reach those arms up. Exhale, lower. And two more, inhale up. And exhale. Just so we get nice and low, inhale. This is your last one into that warrior two. Find your lowest point. Make sure the shoulders are down and relaxed. Remember, back leg is super straight here. Inhale, we're going to flip that palm. Exhale, we're going to lean back. So peaceful warrior. We're going to take this back hand, bend that elbow, and wrap it around to reach for that opposite hip. Take your gaze up at that hand. Take one more breath. Inhale, come back. Exhale, let's cartwheel those hands down. So now we're in this high lunge, okay? So I'm standing up high here because my hips are really tight. I can't quite make it to the floor. So hands are either on the floor or you're right up here. But the key is keeping this back leg really straight. Okay, stay there for a second. I actually have a block, I'm gonna use it. So sort of like a runner's lunge, I want you to move forward and back, just getting into those hips a little bit more. Key here is keeping those hips low and straightening that back leg as best as you can. So really pulling up through that knee and pressing through your heel. Can you hold it for one more breath? I'm getting warm now. And then go ahead and step back into that downward facing dog. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little more challenging version of lowering to the floor if you'd like to follow along, but it's much harder for your back, so just be careful. Inhale, we come forward to that high plank. Exhale, we lower without lowering those knees. So we bend our elbows, we hover for a second, and then we move forward and up into upper facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, come all the way up and back, and hold that there for a few breaths. Remember to listen to your body. It is your workout this morning. I'm just here to lead you through it, so do whatever you need to do this morning. Inhale, bend those knees. Exhale, walk to the top. Forward fold. Hopefully finding that you're getting a little bit closer to the mat as we come here. Inhale, reach those arms up. Big deep breath. Palms come together. Exhale. Oh, I feel my heart rate getting up a little bit. Okay, left side. So, right into it. Inhale up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, there's that halfway lift. Remember, keeping that back super flat. Exhale down. We step our left foot back. Medium step back. Glue the heel into the floor. Warrior one. Lift the chest. When you're ready, arms come up and hold. So again, I'll show you from a few different angles. If you're looking right at my screen, so making sure that the back leg is nice and straight and your front knee is bent. Okay, so hold on to this. I'm just gonna come and check in on you guys. Let's also make sure we're tucking those hips under to engage our core, right? We're stitching our rib cage together, making sure that we're protecting that low back. Ooh, you guys look great. Beautiful. Let's do one more breath, and then we'll open right up to that warrior two. So inhale, straighten that leg, open right up. Start with the hip. So turn out from the hip, then the knee, then the ankle follow. And then we lower to warrior two, right? So let's take a few more breaths to get into this. Inhale up, hands come together at the top. Exhale, lower. Inhale up, exhale, lower. And last time, finding your lowest point here. Hold. Okay, so a much wider stance if you can with your warrior two. Tuck your hips under, get nice and straight, and lower down. How are those arms? They should be nice and strong. Knee is right on top of that toe. We're gonna hold it for 2 more breaths. Keep your focus. Inhale, flip the palm, the front arm. Exhale, take it back to reverse your warrior. Back arm can bend and wrap around to encourage that shoulder to open a little more. Just add a little extra twist if you'd like. And then inhale, come back. Exhale, our back heel pops off the mat. And we find that low, the runner's lunge. Right here. So hold on to that right there and grab my block again. So you can have your hand on the mat. Remember, you stay right up here with me. Remember, the key here is extending through that back leg and getting it as straight as you can, whether you're up high or whether you're down low. So moving forward and back here, rocking forward and back. Okay, so we're going to use this later when we do a balance pose. So lift up through your knee, press through your heel, one more breath, drop your hips an inch lower. Nice, and then exhale, step back, down dog. Remember, you can just hang out here in your child's pose or go through the floor sequence again. Lots of different options. So I'm going to go through it again if you'd like to follow. Inhale, exhale, inhale, lift up, and exhale. Okay, hold here, one more breath. Inhale, bend those knees, exhale, walk, or jump to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, reach those arms up, big deep breath, palms come together. Exhale, lower. Okay, so check in, everyone doing okay? Thumbs up, we're okay? So great time to grab a sip of water if you'd like. We're gonna come back to the top of our mat. Start with that right leg once more. So you're just gonna add on a couple more layers, all right? So we can go a little bit faster, a little bit slower. Stick with me and my speed, okay? So inhale, reach up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, here's that halfway lift. And exhale, lower. Okay, we step our right foot back, warrior one. We're gonna move through it a little bit faster for an extra challenge if you're ready for that this morning. Inhale up, exhale, hold. So our extra challenge here, we're gonna interlace those fingers, keep our pointer and thumbs extended. So I'm going to show you from a different angle. Stay here. You want to think of gluing your arms to your ears. Okay? Now, if you need a little extra for your shoulders, maybe you bend your elbows. Keep holding it here. While we're here, we want to think of, yes, grounding our feet, but also lifting up in this pose. Finding length rather than sinking into the mat. And then inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, we're going to lower those arms down. Left comes in front, right comes behind. We're going to find a triangle pose now that we're a little bit warmer. So legs are straight. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, sort of like you're doing a side crunch. Arms act like a little pendulum here. We open up our side body. So maybe you start at your knee, take an inhale, and then exhale, you start to rotate from your torso, your chest, and your shoulders to find a triangle pose with your legs. So imagine you're falling back into that wall behind you, or that you're squished between two walls. Remember, find a spot right now, hold on to it, find a spot that's a little bit challenging for you. Even if you're not sure you can do it this morning, go an inch lower and then just come out of it if it's too much. You're not gonna know if you don't try though, right? Take your gaze at your hand, one more breath, keep twisting, and then inhale, use those obliques, use those core muscles, push it to your back foot to pull yourself up, inhale. Exhale, let's open right up to warrior two. Feel a little more stretched out here. Warrior two, nice and low. Tuck those hips, okay. Continue to breathe, hold this right here. One more breath, arms are really strong. Inhale, flip that palm, exhale, take it back, reverse. That back arm can bend and wrap around if you'd like. So extra challenge here, you're gonna push into your front leg, push away from the mat to get a little more length here. A lot of side body stretching here. One more breath, and then inhale, slowly cartwheel it back. Just be mindful of your back, your spine, cartwheel it here. So we're back to this lunge, our runner's lunge, okay? So get nice and low. You can always lower to that back knee if you need to. We're gonna try to up this and find a high lunge, okay? So we're in this runner's lunge really low. What I want you to do is keep your hips low. While you're here, just simply lift your chest. Okay? Just lift your chest up. I know this is tricky. You can always bring that back foot in if you need a little extra support. And now reach your arms up. Big deep breath, palms come together, and exhale. Okay? Hold this right here. So this is our high lunge as opposed to what we were doing earlier. So whichever one is challenging for you, find that pose. Take an inhale, exhale, can you go a little lower? Ooh, yeah, I'm feeling that. Remember, pull up through that back knee and press through that heel. Okay? Now inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, you're going to lower your chest towards your thigh. Hang up here for a second. You're gonna imagine that I'm pulling you forward a little bit, okay? Now we're gonna rock forward and back, just a little bit, because we're gonna end up balancing on this left leg. Push off your back leg, take your hands back to prayer, back to your chest, and lift your back leg up. Just a couple inches. Hold it right here. So we're starting right here. If you know you can add a little extra challenge, I want you to lower your chest about 2 inches, but lift your leg up about 2 inches. Hold that right there. I want you to straighten your back leg. Imagine you're pressing your foot into a wall behind you. So we're choosing those levels. Maybe you're low, maybe medium, maybe a little higher. Maybe you extend those arms straight out in front of you. Try one more breath. We'll get to come back here one more time. And then biggest challenge, step back to that lunge. Woo. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down. Great job, guys. Step it back to downward facing dog. Oh yeah, feeling those glutes. So remember, you can hang out here in child's pose or go through that floor sequence again. Inhale forward, high plank. Exhale, lower knees and chest. I'm doing modification here. Inhale, we lift. And exhale, retuck. Down dog. And inhale, bend those knees, set those hips back. Exhale, walk or jump to the top of that mat. Relax the head. Inhale, bring those arms up. Palms come together. Exhale, lower. Okay, how we do, okay? What we do on one side, we have to do on the other, okay? So now it's gonna be that left leg. So just remember that when we're going into that balance, you start right here, okay? And I want you to have your hands here so that this encourages your back to stay flat. Because even once we lower and lift, we want to be here and not here, okay? That would be more of like a standing split, but we're trying for a warrior three balance pose. So inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, halfway lift. So this right here, let's hang out here for 2 breaths. This is your flattest back. This is how you want to be in that balance pose, right? You don't want to be folding forward. Exhale, release. Step that left leg back, warrior one. Lift the chest, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hold. So hanging out here, warrior one. Then we're gonna add interlacing our fingers in just a second. So from another angle, your back leg is straight. Let's interlace those fingers and extend our arms a little bit higher. Continue to breathe. Maybe take your head up. You want to challenge your balance here. Remember that we're finding length from the mat. One more breath. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, those arms come down. So we're into our triangle pose. Inhale forward and exhale. So as your front arm lowers, your top arm has to go with it. You could also cut it in half by bending your elbow and taking your hand to your head. Okay, take an inhale and exhale, lower. So again, twisting from our waist and then from our chest and our shoulders. And then once you're ready to find that fullest version, you can then try extending that arm straight up. Look at your hand, make sure you're stacking it right on top of that shoulder. Keep your legs pretty straight. Hold here for a few more breaths. Just want to see it. So if you need that extra challenge, maybe take your bottom hand away from your leg. So you're really using your core to hold yourself up and not relying on pushing that leg. I know, I do that all the time. Ooh, nice. Joanne, Sarah, you guys look great. Keep breathing. You're squished between 2 walls. One more breath. And then inhale, push into that back foot. Slowly pull yourself up. Use those muscles on the side of your body. Pull yourself up. Inhale. Exhale, go right into that warrior two. So I'm feeling a lot more stretched out. I'm getting a little bit lower in that warrior two. Let's make sure to tuck those hips under, engage our core, right? To protect that lower back. And then inhale, we flip that palm. Exhale, let's reverse. Back arm if you like. Bend and wrap it around or reach for that hip. So here's our extra challenge. You're gonna push into that front leg and just simply straighten it out. And lean back a little bit more. Can you add a little bit more length here? Take your gaze at your hand. And inhale, come back. Exhale, let's cartwheel those hands down. So our back heel comes off the floor. We once again find this runner's lunge. Okay, so hold that there. Just sort of a typical stretch you would do. Keeping your hips low, but right from here, we're gonna lift our chest. So again, you can place your hand on your back if you need to. You don't want your hand to move. So just lift your chest, right? So keep your hips low, lift your chest if you can, high crescent lunge. Those arms come up, inhale. Palms come together, exhale. So a couple of things you can do here is bring your back foot in a little closer for more stability. You can lower your knee to the floor. Make sure you're breathing. I'm bending my knee a little bit because of my tight hip. Can't quite extend it all the way. If you can, press through that heel and get a little bit lower. Our balance challenge is coming up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower your chest to your thigh. Rock forward and back. Get ready to sort of push off that back leg. And here we go, push off. Hands come to prayer, back at your chest. And lift that back leg. Flex your foot as if you're kicking into something. Okay, so you start right here. Almost making a diagonal line, okay? If you want a little more, lower your chest a couple inches, but also lift your back leg up a couple inches to match it. Hold it right there. Imagine your body's a chopstick. So you gotta keep it straight. Some more modification, maybe you just have your toes touching the floor behind you, and maybe you just lift up for a breath, and you come back down. So let's try a few more breaths. If you want it harder, extend those arms all the way up and out. Try to straighten that back leg a little bit more, you guys. Pull up with that knee. Let's try 2 more breaths. Let's see where you're at. It can be low or a medium leg lift. And then slowly, hardest part, come back to that lunge. Step it back, brace your core, inhale. Exhale, I know that's tricky. Step back, downward facing dog. Woo! Okay, we're gonna go through it one more time to perfect our balance, okay? Inhale forward to your plank, or maybe you're in that child's pose. Exhale, lower, knees and chest. Inhale, lift shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, down dog. Woo! Bend the knees, walk or jump, top of the mat. Inhale, reach those arms up, and deep breath, palms come together, and lower. Okay, so we have time to do it one more time and practice that balance one more time. So remember, you can be right here for your balance, but you have to keep your legs straight. So whether you're here, or here. Notice how my body is really straight wherever I'm at, so that's what I'm gonna look for. If you're not feeling that balance, maybe you take the tree pose. Balance, okay? Inhale, reach up. Exhale. This is our last piece of work, guys. Inhale, here's that flat back. Exhale. We step right back into a high crescent lunge, so we're gonna get right into it. Biggest step back. Remember those hips stay low, then your chest lifts, okay? Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms come together. So notice that difference. Hips low, then we lift our chest. Take an inhale, exhale, can you get a little lower? So on this side, I can get really low. That's okay. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Flatten your back. Reach in front of you. Push off this back leg. Bring your hands together, and maybe you come right into your balance this time. So follow me, watch what I'm doing on my screen for your modification. Or maybe if you've never done a balance before, you're gonna do what I'm doing right now. The back leg is pretty close to the floor, but I'm strengthening the standing leg by lifting it up a little bit. Hold on to it. Now if you want that extra challenge, lower your chest, but lift your back leg. Arms come out. Maybe now you practice pointing your toe, get your leg a little straighter. If you fall out of it, take a breather, come back into it. Because we're gonna do it for about 4 more breaths. Maybe you're in a tree pose, right? Maybe you stack your hips and you wanna open up to a half moon. You got 2 more breaths wherever you are at. Tuck those hips under, pull your shoulder blades together, straighten that back leg, and then slowly bring your right foot to meet your left foot. So just come back to this little forward fold. Woo. So we're not going back into that lunge. But we inhale, reach up. Exhale, float it down. We step back to down dog. Big stretch here. Inhale forward to your plank. Exhale, lower. Knees and chest. All the way down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, top the toes. Down and back. Okay, guys. One more time on the other side. So bend your knees as you inhale. Exhale, walk your feet to the top. Forward fold. Inhale, reach those arms up. Palms come together. And exhale. Okay, one more time. We're doing that balance pose, or maybe you've chosen to do tree pose. Just do the other side. Inhale up. Exhale, load it down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, lower. We step right back with that left leg into that lunge. Biggest step back. Keep your hips low. Just lift your chest. Inhale, arms up. Palms come together. Exhale. Wow, so you can see how much warmer I am. I can normally not get into this with this leg totally straight back, so that's awesome. Whew. I hope you're feeling really warm too. And let's stay nice and focused for this last balance, okay? Inhale up, exhale, lower that chest, push off your back foot. Hands come back together to squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift that back leg. Low, medium, high, whatever you want to do. Hold it here. Remember to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Have a little tension in those hands. Unless you're ready to extend them out by your ears. Hold it. So I'm doing modified. Just follow right here. I'm going to add a little bit extra. Maybe point through that toe, that back leg. Reach those arms. Can you get that back leg a little bit straighter, guys? Couple more breaths. Focus on one thing in front of you. If you fall out of it, shake it out. Get back into it, okay? Almost done. Maybe you are ready to stack those hips and find a half moon. Maybe take your gaze at your hand. You have one more breath, guys. And then slowly bring, almost fell over there. Bring your foot to meet your right foot. Bend the knees, re-roll it up. Inhale up, exhale. This is our last time onto the mat, okay? So step on back, step downward facing dog. My dog is thirsty, just drinking. And then inhale forward to your plank. Exhale, lower knees and chest, or maybe just a child's pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck the toes. And everyone find a child's pose. Knees wide, feet together, sit all the way back. Forehead to the mat, and hold right there. Take a couple of deep breaths. Breathe it in through the nose, and out through the nose if you can here. Inhale, walk your hands over to that right diagonal, but staying in your child's pose. Maybe taking your nose to your knee. Continue to breathe. Inhale back to the center. Exhale to the left diagonal. Reaching as far as you can. Take a breath. And then come back to the center. And slowly walk those hands up. Okay, so we're coming back to our foam roller. We're actually going to use it for sort of an inversion today. We'll hang out there for about a minute, and then we'll finish in our cross pose. We have just a couple minutes left. So for the inversion, you could also use a block or a pillow. We're just working to get our hips a little bit higher than our heart. So if you practice yoga regularly and you want to do maybe a bridge or a wheel or something a little more advanced, you're more than welcome to. If not, you're going to follow me. Lay down on your back. You want that foam roller or that pillow right underneath our knees. So you're going to lift up into that bridge. We're just going to pull that roller in towards us so that our lower back and our hips are actually resting on that roller. So it's a supported bridge. So again, with a pillow, with a block, a towel even will work. Just you have time to grab that if you'd like. And while we're here, you can just close your eyes. Allow the roller to do the work of keeping your hips elevated. While you're here, you can even lift your feet off the floor if you'd like. Almost like you would be doing plow pose. You can extend your legs straight up. Maybe you gotta wiggle your toes and your ankles here. Legs up the wall. This feels good for you. If it feels a little weird or like it's becoming too much pressure, maybe in your chest or your shoulders, then just do your bridge without a foam roller or just lower all the way down into your back. So we'll take about 2 more breaths here. I like having my legs up. 1 more deep breath. And then once you are ready, unless you want to stay here, that's perfectly fine too. It feels really good. Let's go ahead and lift those hips up so we can move our roller away from us. And then come all the way down onto our back. So even if you want to hang out on your roller, right before we end class, we're all going to come back to the same spot that we started class in. So spotting that right now. Your corpse pose. Arms are down by your side, palms are up. I really want you to try to find the same exact spot that you did in the very beginning of class, if possible. Try to do the exact same thing. Hold it for a couple more breaths. If you find your mind wandering, bring it back to your breathing, filling up the lungs. As you inhale and exhale, letting it all go. Checking in with your body, noticing how it's feeling now after we've gone through our practice and our workout. Maybe those areas of tightness are feeling a little less tight. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit better than when you started. And let's go ahead and start to wiggle our fingers and our toes, moving our head slowly from side to side, starting to wake our body back up. Gently bend those knees, bringing those feet onto the floor. You're going to pull those knees in one last time. Give yourself a big hug. Roll over to your favorite side. When you're ready, gently press yourself up, and we will find a comfortable seated position to end our class in the spring. Whatever is comfortable for you here. And then inhale, we're going to bring those arms up, so all together. As we exhale, those palms come together, we lower them down to heart center, and we will say, the light in me honors the light and energy in you by saying namaste to one another. Thank you so much for coming.